Alright, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. So basically in today's video we're going to be talking about CSEC HSB and CSEC biology. So basically once you've studied for CSEC biology, you've kind of already studied for CSEC HSB. So somebody was asking about the crash course that I had, and they were saying that some of the things were exactly the same thing as HSB. It is called human and social biology, right? And then you have general biology. It's the same thing. If you buy two textbooks, if you buy the CSEC biology textbook and the CSEC HSB textbook, you will see that majority of the things inside are the same thing. The CSEC biology syllabus is divided up into, I think, three modules, three sections, while the CSEC HSB syllabus is divided up into 5, right? So even though HSB is divided up into 5 and biology is divided up into 3, it doesn't mean anything. It's literally the same thing. If you go through the topics, you will see that majority of the both textbooks are the same thing. The only thing with HSB is that you'll find that HSB focuses more on the human body. So you'll see HSB having more reproduction, having more human examples, while the CSEC biology book will have more plants and animals comparison. So that's basically like the main difference between the both of them, right? Yeah, but basically it's the same thing. When I did CXE back in the day, the CSEC biology, what I did was I was a CSEC biology student, and when I was in grade 11, I decided to do CSEC HSB. And even though I had extra classes for CSEC HSB, honestly, it's the same thing. It was the same thing. The things that we were covering in class were more in like CSEC biology class were more like plants and diffusion, cell transport, the leaf, and then in HSB, strictly, if I remember, my class is strictly about the body. And to be honest, we never really that pay attention like all the way. But yeah. So basically me being a CSEC biology student, I was able to do the CSEC HSB exam. So that's kind of what I want people to understand, that they are very similar. If you're a CSEC biology student, you can do HSB. You can do it because about 70-80% of what they're doing in HSB, you also come across it. The major difference is with how the exam is set up. When I was doing it, biology, chemistry, physics, the three of them had graphs. HSB didn't have graphs at the time, and the year when I did it, that was actually the last year that they did HSB without a syllabus. So the only difference back then was that CSEC biology students had more lab experience versus HSB students who they were just studying and sitting the exam. They had no SP. It was 100%. The grade was 100% based on the exam, versus CSEC biology where you had to do the labs. So we do the labs, we do the exam, then we do HSB. And we may be very honest, we never did study for it because when it's too busy, I worry about the other 8 or 9 subjects I want to do at the time. So I'm just saying, if you studied for CSEC biology, you can do HSB. The only thing that you need to pay attention to is the format of the exam, because HSB is not set up like biology, but the questions will be similar because it's the same topics. The only thing, if you compare HSB past paper with CSEC biology past paper, is that the questions that are in the HSB paper are talking about the human body. They'll give you a scenario. John kidneys stop working, so that's kind of like the difference. HSB focuses a lot on human body, while CSEC biology more, what should I say, it more generalized. So it basically incorporates everything. So when you're going to exam, you won't necessarily see questions that are focused specifically on the body. You'll see things about plants, animals, bacteria. They will be more generalized versus just HSB focusing on the human body. So that's probably the main difference between them. So they have different exam formats, they have different sections in the syllabus, but they are basically the same thing. The studying, it's almost the same thing. The only thing, if you're doing HSB, you need to prepare more to answer human based questions like scenarios, especially like with the excretory system, or they might ask you about disease and the different parts of the HSB syllabus. They might ask you, oh, um, John's grandmother produces XXX and therefore she's diabetic, and what hormone is responsible, and blah blah blah. Or what will happen if what are some lifestyle factors that contribute to high blood pressure. So there's different questions like that. Those are the type of questions that HSP will ask. Whereas biology will ask you more cell division, more bacteria. They'll ask you about decomposers. They'll ask you to plot a graph. You'll see more questions that are what else are in the syllabus? Circulatory system. Both subjects cover that. You'll see more reproduction, but as I said, HSB will focus only on human stuff, or a majority of human stuff. Well, biology, they may talk about bacteria. You might have a little question about virus. Obviously I'll get a graph. What else? Let me see. What else? This is biology focuses on fruits or dispersal, sexual reproduction in plants. So there's things like that. Whereas in human and social biology, those the reproduction questions will be focused on the human body. They may ask you about the female and male sex cells. They ask you questions like about the egg or the sperm. They ask you questions like that, and then you will have, let me see, you'll have in HSB you'll have those, and then in CSEC biology they may be more generalized and ask about sexual reproduction in plants, ask what becomes the fruit, what becomes the seeds, things like that, explain how fertilization takes place in a flower, things like that. So CSEC biology is more generalized, but it's almost the same studying. So you'll find that majority of the topics do repeat. They're in both syllables. So if you are doing CSEC biology, you can answer CSEC HSB questions. You're supposed to can answer CSEC HSB question. No, the difference is this: if you're a CSEC HSB student, it's not, what should I say? It's not the same way. Alright. Because CSEC HSB is a little bit limited. As I said before, HSB focuses more on the human body. If a CSEC HSB student does CSEC, or if a CSEC HSB student, I would not advise a CSEC HSB student to compromise with the studying that they did for CSEC HSB and expect it to be enough for CSEC biology. Then that's a no-no. And the reason for that, as I said before, on the CSEC biology exam, the questions are more generalized. Obviously, if you study for HSB, you can answer some of the paper because you did HSB. But the questions that are more, what should I say now? CSEC biology is more generalized. So you might see some questions that are not asking about the human body. And you might see something about bacteria and, certain things that you probably wouldn't book up or you wouldn't go as deep as in CSEC HSB. But a CSEC biology student can do CSEC HSB. They can do it. As it relates to, as I said, CSEC HSB student, I would not advise them to compromise or use the study that they did for CSEC HSB for CSEC biology, because CSEC biology is more wider, and because it's more wider, that's why they can use that to do CSEC HSB. Whereas HSB, you might need a little bit more studying, especially on like reproduction in plants and in flowers, because obviously you would know about fertilization, egg and sperm cell, but you wouldn't know about the plant aspect, or some plants or fungi or just those things, tiny things. Maybe they left them out because you're doing HSB. So basically, somebody doing CSEC biology can do CSEC HSB. CSEC HSB, you need some more studying in order to do CSEC biology. But both subjects are very similar. Majority of the syllabus it's almost the same thing. Almost. and then you have the tiny bit of differences between both of them. So the differences are the sections in the syllabus, in the overall thing of the subject. Syllabus is also a little bit different. Syllabus is divided up into 3 for CSEC biology, 5 for CSEC HSB. The paper itself, the paper 2, it's different. Yeah, different sections, different layouts, and things like that. But ultimately, both subjects are very much related because both of them are biology subjects. So CSEC biology can do CSEC HSB. But CSEC HSB alone needs some more reading before they can do CSEC biology. Right? But majority of the topics are almost the same thing. As I said before, the only thing with HSB is that they will leave out some little tiny details that maybe they would not leave out in CSEC biology. And now CSEC HSB students have a lab component, so they now have lab skills, but CSEC biology students were doing labs from a long time ago. So that's probably the biggest difference between both subjects. But anyways, that's just the difference between CSEC biology and CSEC HSB. If this video is helpful, go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe. And yeah, that's the end of this video.